Hi, I'm John Hinderleiter. I'm here at Bethel Park High School to talk about careers in art and illustration and acting. All right, I work as an illustrator primarily, although it's really hard to describe what I do because I also write and I'm also an actor and, geez, I don't know how to describe. Anyway, so when I was in high school, I grew up on a farming town in the middle of nowhere. I had no idea you could make a living doing artwork. I was going to be an engineer. And then I found out in my junior year of high school, you could make a living doing artwork. And I thought that sounded pretty cool because I always liked to draw and paint my whole life. So let's give that a shot. So I came to Pittsburgh back in the mid-'70s when dinosaurs ruled all you could see. And I went to art school and spent 2 years in art school learning my trade. It's kind of like a trade school more than a college. And I've been working as an illustrator ever since. So this will be 40 years coming up next year that I've been working self-employed as an illustrator. So I was going to show you some of the stuff I do. I do all kinds of things. If you walk through a grocery store and you look at labels on packages, somebody has to do all that artwork. Most of that is illustration. Very little of it is photography. Somebody has to do that artwork. If you look through a bookstore, which ones are left anymore? There's artwork everywhere, on the covers, inside, all kinds of stuff. Everywhere you go, there's artwork. Somebody has to get paid to do it. It could be you if you want to do this as a career. I've worked in all kinds of different things, from the very smallest stuff, which is storyboards. Storyboards, this is for a Bob Evans TV commercial. I've been working for Bob Evans for decades doing their storyboard work. Sometimes it's in color, sometimes it's black and white. Down and dirty, I don't like doing them. I'm trying not to do them anymore. I only have 2 clients that I still do storyboard work for. Not a big fan. Although, my friend Jeff, who lives on the other side of South Park, he specializes in storyboard work. He loves doing storyboards. He has storyboarded the last 2 Batman movies. What else has he been working on? The Vin Diesel movie that's filming in Pittsburgh, he storyboarded that. He loves storyboards, and that's all he does. So he specializes in that. Personally, I can do without it, so I'm trying to. Anyway, I also do comps for ads, for print ads. This is for another print ad. They want to sell this concept, the advertising agency wants to sell this concept to the client. Most people are not visual people. You can't describe stuff to them. They will have no concept of what you're trying to get across. So you have to show them a visual. So this is one of the visuals they showed to the client. Said, yeah, this is the idea, blah, 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 blah. We want to sell this idea, okay? So that's a lot of work I did for years and years, was comp drawings to try to sell pitches to basic advertising clients. There's a lot of that work, okay? There's also this kind of stuff. Making up packages. This is a product that Dad's Dog Food wanted to sell to their client. It doesn't exist. They asked me to make up packages to show the client. Look, doggy treats. Okay, so that's what that was. Did a whole bunch of those. So this is kind of the down and dirty stuff. And then every once in a while I get involved in something interesting, doing this kind of stuff. I worked on the movie She's Out of My League, or Out of My League, whatever it was called. It was filmed here in Pittsburgh. I have a screen credit at the end of the movie as the production illustrator. The movie director, the art director at the movie, sent me samples, magazine tear-outs. Here's the furniture we want to do in the show in the apartment. And here's a floor layout of the apartment. Please show a rendering of what this apartment will look like. So I did that, okay? So they can go into meetings with people who are not visual and show them these. There's the parents' house, the real kitschy looking 1970s parents' house with the ducks on the wall and the whole 9 yards. Okay. The airport checkpoint, which was not at the airport. This was a set that was built inside the convention center downtown. So they wanted to show what an airport, and then once again, they gave me the floor layout and told me what was going to be in it, and I had to do the rendering to show what was going to be in it. So that was kind of fun. This whole project was kind of fun. You know, it was all that kind of stuff. So every once in a while, I get to work on something fun like that, like a movie project. But that comes weirdly, randomly. I also do a lot of illustration work for books. All right. Right now, I'm working on, you can pass these around. I've been doing these books for Penguin Random House. And each book has 80 illustrations inside. Right now, I'm on my ninth book in the past year. I'm working on a book about Mount Everest, finishing up a book about Hurricane Katrina, and I'm starting up a biography about the guy who writes the Captain Underpants books. So that's the kind of stuff I'm doing for those. It involves illustrations like that. So that's for my current Mount Everest book. This was Pompeii, ancient Pompeii. Ancient Pompeii. Stan Lee, I just finished a book about Stan Lee, which is pretty cool. That was a lot of fun. I got to draw superheroes. That was great. There's Stan Lee talking at Comic-Con. Statue of Liberty book, that was pretty interesting. Learned a lot I didn't know about the Statue of Liberty. So I do book illustrations. Let me see here. I also do advertising work. These, if you go over to El Pizziola in Mount Lebanon, my artwork's on the menu. Over there. These were for a medical center so that doctors could circle things and send them home with the patients. If you went in, this is for a children's care center. If you took your child in and they sent him home, they could circle something on here and say, here's where the problem is, blah, 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 so that you could go home and explain it to your relatives about what's going on. So that was kind of interesting. I also do, what's this? What's this? Oh, another, that was for UPMC Children's Hospital. What is this? Oh, that's just something I did last weekend. This is a client's Christmas card. It was done digitally. Most of my work anymore, about 95% of it is digital. I work primarily in Photoshop, but the color on this is done in a program called ArtRage. It's really cool. It's like a $60 download. It's really cheap and really cool. I love it. It's got really nice watercolor effects. It's awesome. Did this on a snowy, cold Saturday a couple weekends ago when snow was blowing around, so it was really atmospheric. It really helped getting their Christmas card out. I just finished the Christmas card for UPMC, but I can't show it to you because I have a non-disclosure agreement. This was a poster for the Vintage Grand Prix. They did a motorcycle division a couple years ago, so I did the poster art for this. That was done in Illustrator because it's vector art, because they wanted to blow it up and shrink it down and everything. Anybody got any questions? Am I going too fast? Am I trying to go through too much? I don't know how much time we have. You'll have to give me a heads up. All right. All right. I'll slow down. There's other stuff I want to get to that's going to take some time, and I want to leave some time for that. This was for the Pittsburgh Addy Awards. We have the Advertising Federation in Pittsburgh has an award show every year where they give out the awards for the best in advertising categories all kinds of stuff, print, media. You wouldn't believe the categories. Sometimes you wonder, what kind of category? Who made this up? But I did the program a few years ago. That's a digital painting. They wanted an oil painting. They said, can you give us an oil painting of King Kong? I said, I can do it. Not in the time you gave me. You gave me a week and a half to get it done. I can get it done. It'll still be wet. You won't be able to scan it. Nobody's going to be able to touch it. So I said, how about a digital oil painting? So I did a digital oil painting of King Kong climbing PPG Center, holding one of the Addy Awards. So that was a lot of fun. It was a challenge because I'd never done a digital oil painting to that extent before. Once again, this is that program, Art Rage. Really effective program.
What are the main programs you think that the students should take to benefit for a course like this?
Photoshop. Photoshop is used by everybody. Whether you're an illustrator, you're in film production, photography, Photoshop's the primary program to get used to. Everything. My brother teaches at Macworld every year, and he told me ages ago that everything else is basically dumbed down Photoshop. Every other art program out there, no matter how cutesy it is or anything, it's all basically dumbed down Photoshop. So Photoshop is the most widely used program for graphic arts. If you can get used to that, get a handle on that, it's really, really handy. Everything else is an adjunct to that. You know, I'll use Illustrator, I'll use these other art programs, Sketchbook Pro, Manga Studio. I have a whole bunch of them on the computer, but Photoshop is always my fallback. It's always the go-to.
Are you freelance or are you working for an agency?
I have been freelance for 40 years. Let me talk about that for a minute. I've been self-employed for almost 40 years now. If you work for a company, my wife is a TV commercial producer. She produces stuff on TV all the time. In fact, yesterday she was working with Charlie Batch on a new commercial. She works for a company. If you work for a company, if you're an employee, that company has a sales force, they have a bookkeeping department, they have a management department, and they have you, all right? I am all that in one person. I am the sales department, I'm the bookkeeping department, I'm the management department. I am everything, all of it, all at the same time. I tell people, I don't think anybody believes me. I spend 60% of my time getting the work and less than half my time actually doing the work. The amount of hustle it takes to be self-employed, and I don't care if it's in arts or anything else, is astounding. The amount of hustle is overwhelming sometimes. I graduated art school with people who were way better than me at art and have never made a living at it because they don't understand the business aspect of it, the amount of hustle it takes to like get the work, to keep the work coming in. It's pretty daunting sometimes. But on the other hand, all of it is your doing. I mean, the feeling of accomplishment is amazing. Cranking through a project and knowing that you are responsible for it from the get-go, from the beginning, from the very concept of ideas to getting the job, to bringing it in, to pleasing the client is overwhelmingly great. I mean, it's just terrific. It's a terrific feeling. So there's the downsides, there's the upsides. Speaking of hustle, the Penguin books that are getting passed around, those kids' books, how I got that job. A year ago, I'm on a Facebook page for children's illustrators. Just a little, you know, a page where people gripe and complain and blah, blah, blah. And a little over a year ago, somebody posted that an editor at Penguin Books had tweeted that they were looking for an illustrator for their books. And at the time, I didn't even have a smartphone. I still have my old flip phone. I saw that announcement. I immediately opened a Twitter account on my computer, retweeted back to this dude just so I could send him a link to my website. All right? 3 months later, I'm working on their books. Just because of that one retweet. Just, yeah, I saw it, bang, turned around, got back to them, and I'm working on my 9th book for them now. I still don't have a Twitter account that I use. I mean, I have a Twitter account. I've never, ever tweeted anything. I have 8 followers. I don't know what they're looking for. But it was that kind of thing, like real quick turnaround. I mean, I saw it, got back on it right away. So that's the kind of thing, the kind of hustle it takes to like do this for a living, to, you know, keep busy. And that's the goal, is to keep busy.
Was that a skill, your business side? Was that a skill that you were taught? Was it something that you feel that you had? Was it a combination of both? Like, did your degree in art school have anything to do with that?
No, and here's the problem. I spent 5 years also teaching at La Roche as an adjunct professor for a while. Art schools never teach that. They never teach the business side. Art is a business. I mean, if you want to make a living at it, I mean, if you just want to do it on your free time on the weekends, who cares? Knock yourself out. That's great. That's terrific. You know, if you want to make a business out of it, it really is a business. I mean, it's a business. You got to figure out how to do the business part of it. I used to tell my students at La Roche every year, the very first class, and nobody ever listened to me and, you know, about it because it sounds dumb. But if you want to do this as a business, if you want to make a living at it, one of the best things you can do is take a basic accounting course. Learn how to keep books and how to send out invoices, that kind of thing. I mean, it's real simple. I mean, look, I'm not a business person. Never wanted to be a business person. Have no aptitude to be a business person. Have no interest in being a business person. I've spent my entire adult life as a business person. All right? And it's, you know, it's not that, it doesn't have to be that complex. Just a basic accounting course so you know how to keep books, how to budget yourself. All right, here's a for instance. I'm an ad agency, and I have a great new campaign that requires an illustration from you. You're an illustrator. You crank out an illustration this week, and you turn it into me on Friday. I'm loving it. This is a great illustration. Thank you for bringing this to the blah, blah, blah. This looks great. The client loves it. Everything's great. Give me an invoice. You turn around and you give me an invoice this week. You give me an invoice this week. How soon can you expect to be paid? 3 months from now. 3 months is standard. You won't see a check for 90 days. So you have to learn to budget. You have to learn how to, you know, keep your money flow going without the, you know, weird, wild ups and downs. It's a business. It really is. As much as that, you know, pains me to say, it really is a business. So, all right. Woo! God, I'm talking a lot. All right. Let's look at some more art. Sure.
Yeah, what type of job or project makes the most money?
Advertising. By far, advertising has the biggest budgets. Book work is fun. Book work is steady. Book work, the deadlines are laughably long. Advertising pays the best. It also is the most demanding time-wise. Like I showed you that gorilla painting, the King Kong painting, they wanted that in a week. All right, start to finish in a week. This piece, this was part of a, University of Pittsburgh paid for this. It's kind of advertising-ish, sort of. University of Pittsburgh paid for this. It was at the History Center downtown, Heinz History Center. It was part of an exhibit about slavery in the Pittsburgh area. They came to me, wanted me to do these backgrounds, murals, digitally, so they could be blown up and printed. They also wanted to have mannequin figures in front of the scenery. So first thing I did was a sketch of these figures, sent it off. Did a sketch of these figures. They sent them off to a company in Baltimore that makes wax figures. So they made a wax figure of Frederick Douglass as a young man. Meanwhile, I did these paintings. They got blown up to 8 feet square. Frederick Douglass sat in front of it as part of the exhibit down at Heinz Hall. Now the Smithsonian owns it. Smithsonian took the whole show. Anybody need to see this? You see it? All right. So anyway, so that really wasn't advertising. The deadline was still pretty tight. Let me find some advertising here. What is this? Oh, all right, this was done in a day. From concept to final execution, this was done in a day. I got a phone call in the morning. Client called me up. I'm in a bad need. I promised something to this client. I got to have it by the end of today. It's going to print tomorrow. So this was start to finish 1 day's work. It's advertising. Advertising normally, your rates, the amount of money you can charge, your fee is negotiable. All right. The more of a bind they're in, the more you can charge them. If they're really, really stuck, and if it's a job, if it's something weird that like they've never seen before, like that thing I just showed you for the museum, they've never done anything like that before, you make up your own money. You make up the price. How much is it going? What is it? How much time is it going to take you to do it? You're the deciding factor. You're the boss. If it's going to take me a week to do this, my time's worth this much per hour. If it's going to take me a day, my time's worth this much per hour. Here's how much I want. And you just come back to them, and they either say yes or no. All right? There might be some negotiating. Don't buy that line, or we'll make it up to you on the next one. Don't buy that line. It's great exposure. Don't work for free. Don't work for free. So advertising has the most leeway as far as fees go. It has the most money attached to it. It is also the quickest work to go away. You cannot count on it. It ebbs and flows like nothing you've ever seen. I had 3 projects last month that I priced out, spent a day on each one figuring out what my end of it would be, priced them out. They all just disappeared, gone. They all just melted away. So advertising work is extremely volatile, but it can be very lucrative. It can be. All right. Book illustration, publishing, whether it's magazines, books, that kind of thing, they have set fees. They have set fees established for what they pay. Those books that I'm doing, it's a set fee. Each one is a set fee. All right. Magazine illustrations. I do these. I'm doing a lot of work for Calliope the past year. This kids magazine. I did that cover. Marie Curie did that cover. Set fee. Here's how much we pay. And since you're the boss, you're your own boss, your sole power in that situation is to say yes or no. Yes, I'll do it. No, I won't do it. You know what I mean? So there's no such thing as being your own boss. Everybody who cuts you a check is your boss. Being self-employed means you have the power to say, no, I'm not going to do it. And that's basically the only power you have. Everybody is your boss. I have thousands of bosses. Let me see what I can pull up here. So every month or so, I send out an email promotion. This was one from not too many months ago. It goes out to 1,500 and some odd people that I've worked for over the years. It's a little sample of everything. Some kids' illustrations, some painting goes out. So it's a constant promotion. Once a month, I send out something. Just a reminder that you're still here, you're still alive, this is what I'm still doing. It took a year of me sending out promotions before these people got in touch with me and said, hey, we like your stuff. You want to do some illustrations for our magazine? So you never know how it's going to take. You never know what it's going to take or how long it's going to take. But, you know, it's also fun showing off your stuff. I mean, come on. You do something cool, you want people to see it, you send it out, and normally you get some really nice feedback. Okay.
Pittsburgh is a good job market. Do you want to be in some type of illustration or graphic?
Pittsburgh, I'm a member of the Pittsburgh Society of Illustrators. It is the second largest society of illustrators in the country. New York City, Pittsburgh, LA. We have the second largest group of illustrators in the country. I'm still not exactly sure why, but Pittsburgh is an insanely creative town. I mean, the level of creativity in this town is astounding. People come from here from all over the country. and are flabbergasted by how much, gee, did I just say that word? I'm like a 90-year-old man. They're stunned by the level of creativity in this city. Artists, illustrators, writers, film producers. My friends Danny and Steve last year won Best Documentary at Sundance Film Festival last year. The amount of film, acting, CMU is cranking out actors like you can't believe. Creativity in sciences. I have friends that work at the Robotics Center making all kinds of weird stuff that they're not allowed to talk about. Get a couple of beers into them, they'll talk. So the creativity in this city is truly astounding. I mean, I just met an illustrator, lives in Mount Lebanon. I just met him a couple of months ago. I was riding my bike on the Montour Trail and bumped into him. He's doing a painting along next to the trail. And we got to talking. Never met him before. He's an astoundingly well-known illustrator that I didn't know existed. He does magic cards. Anybody who plays magic cards, he's done a ton of those. My friend Rhonda also does magic cards. She also does a lot of film work. So the creativity in this town is astounding. I mean, truly, truly astounding. I mean, yes, it's a good town for making a living as an artist.
Do you have any recommendations about what schools that the students would be?
I taught at La Roche for 5 years as an adjunct professor teaching an illustration course. La Roche has an astoundingly good graphic arts program. I was always really impressed by the students' work up there. And I don't know whether it's just because they attract people who are really good or if they have a faculty that turns out really good students. But everything I saw at La Roche was amazing. The only place in Pittsburgh that offers anything close to an illustration degree is the Art Institute, I think. I know CMU has illustration degrees in like medical technology and that kind of stuff, medical illustration. A friend of mine graduated from there with a degree in medical illustration. Illustration is kind of a weird thing. Making your living as an artist is kind of odd in that nobody cares where you went to school. All they care about is your work. I've never once had anybody ask me where I went to school other than just as a, how are you doing, where did you go to school, blah, blah, kind of thing. All they care about is your work. But the point of going to a good school is that you turn out good work. That's the idea. You could conceivably do this as a living without ever going to school. I don't know how you would pull that off because there's a lot of technical stuff you need to learn to be an artist for a living, and a good school is key. So, but after you've started establishing yourself, nobody will ever ask you again. It's that kind of thing. So anyway, any question about? Oh, this is a bunch of stuff. I did a bunch of digital portraits for an accounting firm last year for a big dinner they were having. That's what this part of that was. Anyway, any questions about art? Anybody questions about making a living as an illustrator or doing artwork, that kind of thing? Yeah.
How much would you typically charge for like a simple ad?
All right, it varies widely. So let me show you a couple of things. This was, where are we at? What's this? Oh no, that's, let me give you for instance. Boy, let me think here. All right. Whoops. I'm not going to be able to play that, am I? All right, let's go back here. So it varies a lot according to, hold on here, where are we at? It can vary a lot. Some of the factors are your time, obviously. What kind of time is going to take you to do this? In advertising, usage counts. Where's this going to get used? All right. There is a book out that comes out every year, the Graphic Arts Guild Pricing Guide. It's a really good book. If you're doing this for a living, it's a really good book to have. It gives you an idea. Anymore, and here's what's happened. Prior to the internet, because that's how old I am. Prior to the internet, you got paid for usage. If I did this for a print ad, I got paid a certain fee. If they wanted to use it then again on a billboard, I got paid again. If they wanted to use it in a brochure, I got paid again. All right? Nowadays, once anything's on the internet, it is gone. You have no control over it anymore. It is gone. So I price all my artwork on a complete buyout. In other words, if this is going to take me 7 hours to do, I charge them for 12 hours. Because once it's gone, it's gone. They'll put the ad on the internet, and it is gone, and you'll never get any more usage fee out of it again. So this was $1,200. All right. Yeah, that was $1,200. It was done in a day, back and forth with a bunch of sketches. There's a couple of tweaks at the end, that kind of thing. But you know, advertising pays well. These books, these black and white illustrations in here, $100 a piece. Each one takes me a little less than an hour. Okay, so you know, so for these, but it varies. In publishing, they have their set fee. All you can do is say yes or no. Advertising, it's negotiable. You can, you know what I mean? You can ask until they squeak, and then you come down a little bit. All right, okay, so here's this. Forget that then. Let's do this. I also do some acting work. I did this. Is this going to play? How do I get this to play? Recommended settings, finish. No, it's on, no. I just brought the file.
I went for one of those buy one.
Oh, it's not playing. Here it is.
Never again. I went for one of those
Is that
buy
showing?
one room, get additional rooms free flooring deals. Never again. The
Whoop.
installation
Oh.
failed. I have to replace everything after only 2. I went for one of those buy one room, get additional rooms
Just
free
once.
flooring deals. Never again. The installation failed. I have to
No,
replace
here.
everything
Whoops.
after only 2 years. I should have called Molyneux.
Oh, did you do the Molyneux?
Yeah,
I went for one of those buy one room, get additional rooms free flooring deals.
right.
Never again. The installation failed. I have to replace everything after only 2 years. I should have called Molyneux.
Yeah. All right. Woo, real sad. All right, there's that. Okay, there's that. No. And I am not Jim from Robinson. We shot this in Philly.
Breaking is Bill's passion. So when it came to fighting his cancer, it's something he couldn't give up. That's why he chose proton therapy at Penn Medicine's Roberts Proton Therapy Center. Proton therapy has fewer side effects, so he can stay on his bike even during treatment. Not giving up what you love is worth Penn Medicine. Learn more at PennProtonTherapy.org.
All right, so that was fun. That was 3 days in Philly. All right, here's the one. I had no idea who these people were. Hold on. We're running out of time.
I'll watch the night turn light blue, but it's not the same without you. Because it takes two to whisper quietly.
That's not me.
So bad, till I look at my hands and feel sad. 'Cause
That's
the
me.
spaces between my fingers
Where's
are
my
right
truck?
where yours fit perfectly. I'll find repose in new ways, though I haven't slept in 2 days. 'Cause cold nostalgia chills me to the bone. Drenched in vanilla twilight, I'll sit on the front porch all night, waist deep in thought, because when I think of you, I don't feel so alone. I don't feel so alone. I don't feel so alone.
There's my truck. Woo!
as many
Anyway, so that's kind of stuff. You know, that kind of stuff, print ads, that kind of stuff. Anyway, so there's that. So I fell into that about 15 years ago. I've made a couple dozen commercials, worked in some videos, music videos, and blah, 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 blah. So that's kind of fun, too. The point of it being, if you're a creative individual, you're a creative person, you can be creative in all kinds of different ways. I hang out with writers, film producers, actors, all kinds of fun people. It's a very creative city. You get cross-breeding of creativity going on with all kinds of people getting you involved in all kinds of stuff like that. So it's a great town for creativity. It really is. So, any more questions? Yeah.
Whenever it comes to your illustration, what do you do if a client doesn't like the work that you present?
They always change stuff. Here's my best advice is not to be married to your work. You can be married to your own work. I have my own work I do. My paintings that are done for me. Uh-oh, now I can't find it. I have no idea where they went. Oh, here we are. Okay, so I have my own paintings, my own work. Here we go. My own paintings. These are the oil paintings I do for myself. These, I'm in complete control of. Nobody can make me change them. Other than that, you don't have that control. So,
Thank you so much.
sure.